Air Tragedies, Lessons Written in the Skies. The history of aviation is a timeline marked by both extraordinary feats and sad events. From the first flights to modern technologies that allow us to cross the world in a few hours, aviation has transformed our civilization in ways never before imagined. But alongside these achievements, there have also been moments of pain and tragedy that have tested our resilience and humanity. In this video, we revisit some of the most remarkable aviation tragedies in history. More than numbers or statistics, these stories remind us of the challenges and sacrifices that shaped modern aviation. These stories are not just about failures and losses, but also about crucial advances that have made flying increasingly safe. Our goal is to honor the victims, reflect on past mistakes, and understand how these accidents shaped the trajectory of aviation. Only by learning from the past can we ensure a safer future in the skies. It is impossible to talk about air tragedies without going back to the roots of aviation, when the risks were as great as the uncertainty. One of the most symbolic tragedies of the early days of aviation occurred in 1937, with the Hindenburg airship disaster. The Hindenburg was a masterpiece of German engineering, the largest airship ever built, and a symbol of technological advancement. But on May 6, 1937, this vision of progress ended in tragedy. While landing in Lakehurst, New Jersey, the airship burst into flames, killing 36 people and shocking the world. Suspicions have fallen on several factors: a possible electrical spark, structural problems, and even theories of sabotage. But regardless of the cause, the Hindenburg disaster was a landmark. It virtually ended the era of airships as a means of commercial transport and forced aviation to seek safer and more practical ways. The Hindenburg was not just an air tragedy, but a watershed in the history of aviation, reminding us that progress must go hand in hand with safety. 40 years after the Hindenburg incident, the world would witness another devastating event: the disaster at Los Rodeos Airport in Tenerife. To this day, this accident remains the deadliest tragedy in aviation history, and the causes that led to it are a dark chain of human error and unfavorable circumstances. On March 27, 1977, two Boeing 747 jets, one belonging to KLM and the other to Pan Am, collided on the runway of a small Spanish airport. It was a chaotic day at the airport, with flights diverted due to a terrorist attack at the Canary Islands main airport. With Tenerife's airport overwhelmed, the weather worsened, bringing fog and poor visibility. The disaster was caused by a number of factors: an unauthorized takeoff, a lack of clear communication between the KLM pilot and the control tower, and the challenges posed by dense fog. The impact was devastating, with 583 deaths. Tragic as it was, the Tenerife accident spurred profound changes in aviation. It made it clear that communication between pilots and controllers needed to be simplified and universal. Confusing or redundant terms gave way to straightforward language standards that are still used today. Almost 40 years after Tenerife, a new catastrophe would shake the world, but this time shrouded in mystery. The disappearance of Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 in 2014 was not only a tragedy, but an event that challenged our technological advances and left unanswered questions. The flight departed from Kuala Lumpur bound for Beijing with 239 people on board. A few hours after takeoff, the plane simply disappeared from radar. Massive searches were carried out in the Indian Ocean and other regions, but to this day the debris found has not been sufficient to determine exactly what happened. Several theories have emerged: mechanical failure, human error, or even a possible intentional act. But the fact is that the disappearance of a plane in the middle of the digital age has exposed flaws in our global tracking system and prompted changes in the way flights are monitored. The case of MH370 moved the world, uniting nations in the search and generating immense emotion among the families of the victims. More than an unsolved mystery, it is a reminder that, even with so much technology, there are still limits to our reach in the skies. When we look at all these tragedies together, we begin to see clear patterns in the factors that contributed to them. Many accidents were caused by mechanical failures that were not detected in time, while others were caused by human error, misunderstandings, hasty decisions, or fatal lapses. In some cases, such as Tenerife, weather conditions were a determining factor, while in others, such as MH370, even external factors such as possible sabotage or malicious intent were taken into account. Each air accident is unique, but all of them highlight the importance of stricter safety systems, adequate training, and new technologies to mitigate risks. Aviation tragedies also have a direct impact on our perception of safety. They are often a cruel reminder to the public that no matter how far we have come, there is always room for error and unforeseen events. For aviation, these tragedies have become catalysts for profound change that have saved countless lives over the years. Aviation has learned and grown significantly from each tragedy. After the Tenerife disaster, clear communication between pilots and control towers became a global standard. A universal language for aviation, English, was established, and phrases like "Roger that" or "clear for takeoff" were modeled to avoid ambiguity. Another crucial innovation was the introduction of the flight recorder, the famous black box, which helps to understand what happened after accidents. In addition, more advanced radars and global tracking systems were developed in response to cases such as MH370. Safety protocols, approaches to potential human error, and aircraft designs are also constantly being improved. Today, commercial aircraft are considered one of the safest forms of transportation, with accident rates decreasing every year. As painful as tragedies are, they have also played a crucial role in driving innovation, reinforcing that lessons learned should not be forgotten. Behind every number of victims are stories of lives, dreams cut short, and families devastated. It is important to remember that these tragedies are not just cold statistics, they have a profound impact on the emotions and collective memory of humanity. Many of the safety changes seen in aviation today are the result of the struggle of survivors, victims' families, and even professionals who dedicated themselves to preventing these disasters from happening again. From this collective pain, more robust systems and shared efforts to make the skies safer were born. It is also our responsibility to treat these stories with respect and avoid the temptation to sensationalize. Recognizing human fragility in such extreme contexts is an invitation to empathy and reflection. The history of aviation, although marked by progress, is also marked by moments of profound loss. Tragedies such as the Hindenburg, the Tenerife disaster, and MH370 are reminders that the relentless pursuit of technology and safety must continue. In this journey of reflection, we have seen how each accident has brought lessons and driven evolution. Still, it is important to recognize that even the greatest progress comes from painful sacrifices. Today, with modern safety measures, flying is one of the safest forms of transportation in the world. But this was only possible because we learned, in many cases, the hard way. May the lives lost in these tragedies never be forgotten, and may they continue to inspire us to build a future where mistakes are reduced and lives are preserved. Understanding the past is the best way to protect our present and our future.